So, hello everyone, welcome to episode 5, the Manji guys. What's gonna happen, right? That was pretty... Last episode we saw Akun, and he, of course, that was Akun. But I don't know, it was a good episode, except the time travel thing. Except time travel, the whole premise. No, but I mean, that Akun was like, "You're a time traveler." That I felt was just like, how? I mean, he's right, but why is this the first thing you think is right? I mean, like it was just a little absurd that a person being like, "Well, the only way you could see this snowing thing would be time travel." It's like, really? He could have been lucky. He could have just, managed to do extra. Yeah, it's so many ways that what happened could have happened without time travel, of course. Even though the lower, circumstantial probability, whatever, right? But the thing is that if you're a normal person living in reality, you know what I mean? You wouldn't go like, well, the only possible scenario is time traveling. No, you would be like, well, maybe he was lucky. Maybe he let it online. Maybe this thing happened. Maybe... You get my point. So I think that to me was just silly. That made no sense whatsoever. Why is he thinking that his best friend is a time traveler? If it happened like 10 times, right? The thing is that I have to say that point, in my opinion, was stupid. I feel a lot stupider, because if he was doing this thing, how to say it, progressively, like he saved Akun several times, you know what I mean? He saved him like 6-7 times, right? In really weird scenarios. Then it would be like, wait, do you have some powers? You know what I mean? Like, for example, have you seen Honsuki? Honsuki, I think, a nice, wholesome anime, right? About a girl, she dies. It's a isekai anime. It's another world, right? You know the drill. And in that world, then she's starting to kind of craft her own stuff, and so it's a good anime. And basically, she's actually discovered, right? I won't spoil too much here, but she's basically discovered that she is an isekai, or at least has powers, right? Because some of the other characters are like, how do you know this? You're supposed to be like a 5-year-old. How can you be so intelligent? Kind of like, for example, in Mushoku Tensei, even though his father, Rudius, is a similar man, right? Even though he's like, oh, you're clearly not my son, right? He's like, what's weird? Like, he's like, you something wrong with your son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's also kind of like, my son shouldn't be intelligent, even, as a kid, right? And that's the same Hosu too. That people are like, no, you're just a kind of magical 5-year-old, because you have powers way beyond and knowledge and so on, right? So that if Akun was like, wait a minute, every time shit happens, you save me, and it's like, I mean, I'm grateful, bro, but it's like, how do you always know what's happening in the perfect scenario? If Akun was doing that thing, then I could live with it and be fine with it. Now instead, it's like, why can't Akun see immediately? So I think that was really silly, and a problem with that is that I would much rather, see in episode, let's say, 25, that Akun is like, you're a time traveler, then it would be much better, right? Now if it's like Akun somehow managed to guess the correct thing immediately, right? With so little information, and that is just, which is kind of weird. But otherwise, the episode was great, and of course, very sad on it, even though he can save his life, but it was sad. And even though how time travel works here, that he can only go back to the same date, right? Like, he can go back to, the 7th February, right? Or 1st of March. He can't go back to, a specific day. If he actually fails to save Draken, right? The dragon. If he doesn't save, Ryokuken, the dragon, yeah. If he doesn't save him, he's gonna die, right? So there is some stakes. It's not like L0, where he has, not entirely true, but I mean, in L0, he has more of, back and forth jumping, right? This is kind of like, if he fails, if he cannot do the right thing on day, let's say, 1st of May, if he fails 1st of May, right, then Draken will die anyway. So if Draken dies 1st of May, and he can't save him, right, he might still be able to save his girlfriend and so on in the past, but if Draken dies 1st of May, and it's like 2nd May in the future, he can't go and save him. So there is a little bit, there's these stakes on it, and I do like that, though, because even if he has time travel, he cannot just go willy-nilly, like, he can't go back like this and just, completely save everyone. No, he has to actually do it in correct order, right? But anyway, let's watch the episode. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So he has to do it, correctly. So that's good. That I think is really good. So because definitely, I mean, otherwise, it's like a clear thing, I would say, in many other animes, where it's like, well, here you have a no-stake journey, right? Because the main character can always just be like, well, I can just change the past, so, I mean, no one can actually die, right? It's kind of like in the 0, but in the 0 there is a scene which I think is a very good scene. With I don't say for character, but if you see the Zero, you know what I'm talking about, right? And he's like, well, I think I know how your powers work, Subaru. So if this is how it works, I can just kill this woman here, because if I kill her, you can still save her anyway. So you know, how does it matter, right? Like he kind of gets that, like, well, it doesn't matter because your powers clearly, you know, define time travels or whatever. It's kind of like that, and that's a good scene in Zero. He's like, well, how does it matter, you know, like, yeah. The song is awesome, yeah. Cry Baby. I am watching the sub version because I think it's funny now. I think it's funny seeing the lights. I want to see how they're gonna do it later. You know, I'm watching the sub version because I want to see the lights, the HD lights version. See, I want to see that and see how they do it. You know, I'm laughing at it. You know, it gives my extra comedy for me. But yeah, so Hikoshi works. But he's like, his brain, when he time travels, he's basically locked in this, like, what do we call it? Like a coma, yeah, like basically. It's like a magical coma, right? So that's a problem for him, definitely. His, yeah, boss not too happy there. His boss is like, wait a minute. My boss hates me now. Yeah, it's more like, I can't have that. My boss gonna fire me, you know. It's like, come on, man. Akun believed it. See, but Akun did. So that's what I mean. Like, the anime is a little bit like, yeah, you say that, but Akun was like, oh, then you have to have time travel. Don't that make sense? I don't know. Yeah. Akun was like, I know you're a time traveler. How did you know that? I'm gonna rely saying that was stupid. Definitely so. It didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. How could Akun know that so easily? How could Akun know that so easily? It doesn't make any sense. I refuse to not say that. Like, it is. But here we go. It's gonna try to figure out Drakken dice. Okay, how do I do that? Oh, it's a brawl. But it probably is the bad. I mean, we have the evil guy, you know, seems to be plotting right on the rooftop. He's probably the one. He probably is there, and it's probably his fault. Oh, they blame Mikey? Blame Mikey for it? Oh, man. He would never hurt his best friend, man. They're like bros. Yeah. So now he has to time travel. It's probably, you know. I like how he really loves this guy. He met him like one day. Like, those two are best friends for life. Like, he met them like one day, and he's like, oh, those guys would never fight each other. They're the best bros ever. But yeah, but I mean, clearly someone else could have blamed Mikey for it. I mean, it's just like, it's pretty like, come on. But what I think is weird with anime though, when I was saying that, the weird thing is that his other body is kind of like still traveling through his rewritten time travel thing, right? So that thing is strange with anime, because I mean, his other body now has to be, you know, time travel, you know, living in another reality, right? Like his old body, so to speak, in 12 years prior, it's gonna have new memories if he waits too long, right? If he goes, like, if he waits for 1 week to go back now, his younger self, I mean, the older self has to like live in that, jumping in there like a week. But it is weird if he will wait. But now they're shaking hands. But if he spent too much time, I feel, trying photo into his bed. Yeah, but I mean, if he spent too much time here, what would happen to his in the you know 12 years ago body? Oh, what? What? Hina-chan? No, it's not. It's a guy or something. It's a blonde baby. What? I guess Mikey brought him to some, fun place. See, but his memories now is weird. Like, shouldn't he have the memory of this? I mean, shouldn't he have the memory of his previous, host, or call it? But yeah, so I guess Mikey brought him probably to some fine place, and Akkun and his. He's escaped already! But this is what I mean, so what's happening now? Did he do that? Was there a memory of that? I feel, honestly, that in this time traveling route isn't displayed. Yeah, but so does he know that? What did he leave for then? Well, yeah, because Hinna, so... Nah, Hinna-san! Hinna! Oh no! But I mean, this is what I mean in anime. This is confusing to anime, honestly. I feel this is weird in anime, because now then it's like, would his younger self for some reason cheat on Hinna, right? Like why would his older self, the one that he's kinda is, why would he betray Hinna, right? Like, it's... And now it's like, why is there an explanation for that? Was this Mikey or Drakken's thing, or was it Akkun? How did it happen, right? So now, why does he know what happened? Why doesn't he have the memory of the alternative past? So is it weird now because he missed a few days of this young thing, right? And now the memory has been rewritten, or the time has been written, but he has no memory of what happened in between that. So he's like time traveled back. Because I mean, otherwise him in the future should know that he went to this place, right? So that is just... Yeah, how is that a thing? Yeah, that I feel is like, how is that a thing? How is the old me... Why doesn't he have any memories of the past, right? Yeah, he's like, how did I get there? Yeah, it's like a weird plot point. So how did I get there? I mean, it's probably a bit Mikey, I'm guessing, right? Or Drakken, of course. Mikey and Drakken are making there, but... No, get over it. But Drakken wants to meet me, Hinna-san. Hinna's like, I will go there too. This is so Hinna should die because he's your best friend, right? It's like, I guess Akkun is my best friend. Actually, Akkun is more close to me. But it's like, yeah. See, this is where Hinna will die because she keeps, getting into. I feel he's setting up her to die more now. It's like he brings her to the gang meets up. This is like why she's gonna die because he makes the past worse for her. He's like, hey, yeah, I wanna go to that meeting with Mikey and Drakken. I mean, clearly it will turn out good for my life. It's like, yeah, Hinna. It's a shrine though, the Jinya. Oh, it's going on bikes, I guess, because it's a biker gang? I guess so. Nice. It's like the classic Yankee. Here we go, Yankees! Here we go, badass. It's definitely here. Come on, you're gonna drive, right? You're bad boys, come on. Yeah. Here we go, Yankees. They look scary. It's like, yeah, that's how it should be. I will protect you. Good. No, don't stare at them. I will protect you now. Go. Oh, come on, that's the best part. Now this guy's like sitting down. He's doing the Yankee sit. Come on. Oh yeah, now they're like covering. See, I want to see this version because I want to laugh at this version. How they're doing like a light beam. I want to watch the light beam version. This is what I want to watch. Come on. This is so silly. I want to watch the light version. So yeah, they're like, Temera! Yeah, here we go. Kuva! Yeah, come on. Oh, this, yeah. This young then, with the white hair, the shitter guy. Of course, he's like, hey, this is Mikey's best friend, man. Yes, it's a new, I guess, another leader here. Yeah, another leader character. Yeah. Here we go. Mikey! She does a bike, man. Why is your wife here for? What your wife here for? She's crazy. Like, Yeah, and Drakken of course is like, Hinna-chan! she's a very, you know, decided, she's a very pushy woman, that's why, yeah, I can agree with you. You know that, Drakken, you know that. It's like, yeah, it's like, I miss his wifey, so you gotta protect her. Here comes, of course, the other woman, yeah, of course she's part of the, the guide, of course. Yeah, of course. Who are you calling? That's my boyfriend, though! Emma's her name, okay. Blonde Swedish girl. Yeah, you're webbing into my undies. Oh, Hinna's gonna kill him now, man. This is how he dies, the pastor said. I really don't remember. It's like, please me, Hinna-chan. But yeah, it's really weird now. Why would he shit on Hinna, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, that's just... Yeah, why did you go with me there for? I don't like you. I'm like, I don't like you anymore. Oh, she just wanted to do it? What? Okay, she wanted to lose her. Yeah, okay, I guess. Because Drakken doesn't want her. He's turning to Mikey. He's in love with Drakken, of course. And she's trying to make Drakken jelly. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, she's trying to make Drakken jelly. Exactly. Oh, that's beautiful. Drakken only looks at at Mikey. But that's because the yaoi between Mikey and Drakken is so powerful. So of course, you know, of course it's like, you can't, you know. But yeah, of course, the other woman he met. Oh, this guy that looks suspicious. Yeah, the pink-haired guy. Or Peach, maybe. Some of the leaders of the gang. Tokyo. Okay. Well, Mike is this crazy fighting. I like his shirt. They open. He just shows his muscles to them. Okay, there's a gang thing, I guess. Conflict between the... Yeah, he knows that Drakken will die, so he's probably something BS, of course. Okay, third vice captain. This is like a very One Piece now. Division captains. Yeah, it's this Whitebeard. It has the same symbol as Whitebeard. It all makes sense now. They're like division commanders. Yeah, it's just like Whitebeard, man. Come on. Yeah, but they are afraid, of course. They're very hierarchical. Yeah, like, he's the number one, man. There's like a cross on his. Because his fault, I guess, it started. Osanai. Yeah, so it's Pa's fault or his bad's fault. Ooh. And took his money. Like what? Like that's storytelling? Or the oldest girlfriend and took his money. It's like, yeah, that next part. Like, I like how they order it. Like, even worse, they took his money. Like, yeah, that was like shit, man. But yeah, that was like an interesting way to tell him. Well, I guess it's like his fault then. He's kinda, you know, alliance pacting. But of course, Mike is like, yeah, you hurt your friend, man. Took his girlfriend. Well, he's gonna say yes, of course. So, yeah, so we get the gang fight, right? So Drakken can die, right? This is like weird black and a lot of pausing. I think every episode. That's probably because instead of showing it, they're like just pausing. Is that why? I felt that's like a really weird pause there in the episode. Same with Drakken earlier, so I guess they probably like instead of making Drakken move, animating that, they like it just pause the video for a bit so we can't see him moving, right? That's probably what they're doing, right? It's really interesting I think to watch this in the sub version because it looks so strange for doing stuff. You get on the bikes though, but yeah, I mean, Hina is still there though, I guess though. Yeah, can I wait it outside? So far he made no progress whatsoever. So far he's like, oh, it's still gonna happen. I didn't do anything to stop that. Great. I'm not being helpful at all. Well, we can try to save Drakken. One way to do it is perhaps just to join, bodyguard him. That is like the simplest solution would be to just stay with Drakken, right? He's like, I'm the best fighter after Mikey. I don't need you. I'm number one, yeah. But, I'm gonna follow him. I will be his best friend. Just ask him to train you something. Ask him to follow you around. I always wonder why I never asked him to train him because they are very good fighters, right? That was the flag on his food, right? Yeah. Because Mikey is very weird, so he's gonna stay there. He's ready with the flag. Oh my god! Kenshin! Best friendship ever. He's prepared with the flag. He's like, don't worry, Mikey, I got this. What? No, then he sleeps. But he's like a big kid, yeah. Now he's like, takes a sleeping break. Eats the kid's meat and I have to carry him out. Man, they keep together, yeah. Best friends ever. It's like, he's fast asleep, but it's like, I guess I could carry him out of the place then. After eating a kiddie meal. But obviously Drakken is not gonna betray him, it doesn't make any sense, man. Drakken is like his best friend ever, man. It makes sense to betray him. But certainly if Drakken dies, Mikey is gonna be very different. Because he relies so much on Mikey, Mikey. Okay. Someone's dying sisters, maybe I guess. I'm guessing it's to be a sister. Okay, this is the girlfriend of Pa's body. Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense though. I just felt that it would be classic if they had some kind of like a dying sister in hospital. Some Imoto. It's a good scene though. Ken's like, we're sorry for this. So Drakken is quite grown up, I feel. I feel Drakken is quite grown up. It's like, we have to take, we have to apologize for our mistakes here. Yeah. We forget us took this guy's money though, so that's But yeah, Drakken is quite the, you know, empathic, insightful guy here. Well, you can see why Drakken, he's the heart of the gang, straight up, right? Man, this is very death flag now. It's like, I'm glad that you are on my side. You're my best friend for life, bro. It's like the death flags in his anime. It's like, I'm so happy you're next to me, Kenshin. Without you, I would be so sad. Like, come on, man. Yeah, he's literally his heart. I get more hungry after I sleep. It's like... No, what I mean, this is probably a lie. That's obviously a lie. That is from the big baddie, right? The big baddie is, of course, somehow blamed Mikey for Draken's death, right? That is like, come on. Like, I don't think that's really be a question. Unless something very suddenly happens and they just completely twist it all around, but I doubt it very much so. And this is a weird thing that it would be. This is really weird that it would be, you know, Mikey doing it. But I wonder. I mean, what we can find. Here we go. Okay, well, it might work. Huh? Same thing here, though. I'm gonna see if I can find like the real version, you know, without this one maybe. I think so. Because it's just one thing that I really wondered about, because it was really weird in the anime. First of all, I can say that is that just a really bad pacing, or it's really bad, but it's kind of a weird scene because of like a freezing there. So it was like a scene where it was really weird, okay? The scene was really weird when actually there was more than one scene, especially the Drakken scene, when he stood there and it looked like why is the camera on Drakken's back body for like, you know, and like nothing happening, like a weird like 10-second still frame that didn't like, make any sense. At about, I think it was like episode here about minute 13 and a half, something like that. Yeah, I can find it again there. Yeah, there we go. Like after this thing, the screen just freezes. So this is Drakken, right? And you just show Drakken. I said, yeah, Drakken. And you show Drakken, and it's like, okay, you know. And then it's like this for 10 seconds, right? And that seems really weird. And I was wondering, that's a kind of cheap way to pace out the episode, because these like a few times. But maybe there's a way for them to, like, you know, how they are changing 1350. Yeah, I'm gonna look at the older version and see if that is different. Then I'm thinking that maybe that version is gonna have, you know, like how say it, an actual animation there, right? And then they might have decided to be like, what if you don't do anything? What if you still frame this for 10 seconds? Don't have to use the, you know, the lighting, right? So I'm thinking that it's supposed to be yeah, like a cheap way to have to not show it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna see how it looks now then. Just gonna find it again here. 1350. Right. Now this is same. What, this also has to say Vision? Oh, come on. Okay, so I looked at another version of it, but that is the same version. What? I thought this place had the other version. Okay. Tokyo. Come on. That's the same version. Here we go. Here's even the title says, okay. Yeah, on this site. I'm just like, what? Now I'm just trying to, figure out. Well, let's do it in the meantime and buffer that thing up there, and then gonna compare it again. Anyway, I think there is a huge issue with this Emma scene, right? And it's kind of funny because I was just saying before that, I'm the only right, and I was just saying this before we got there in this reaction part. In the reaction part, I was just saying that, I am a little bugged out about how this, like, what's happening, right? With why is he it's basically it's like a plot hole, right? From like a general standpoint, it's a plot hole. Like why is he not remembering what's happening in the universe one? And then he time travels. He's suddenly in this room with Emma, right? And Emma is trying to seduce him, but of course he's in love with Hina. So that scene is just so weird because, like, why is then the other, Takamichi younger version, right, not in love in Hina as much as the older one? You know what I mean? He should be probably more in love with her. It's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of weird, and that is strange. So the action of his older self while he's not controlling him, it's just strange, right? But also it's strange just how this works. Like, why wouldn't he know what's happening? Because if I would time travel, right, and I would change my past, I would go back, like, and tell my youngster to buy Amazon. I'll be like, hey man, buy a lot of Amazon, put all your money in Amazon as soon as you can when you're 18. Yeah, I tried to get my mom to buy me stocks when I was younger, but she didn't do it. But yeah. Put all in Google and Amazon, you know what I mean, and so on, right? Then, if I then try travel forward again, right? Assuming that I haven't created like a time paradox, but just like I have, then future me will be way richer, right? Because I'll be holding my Amazon stock for 20 years, right? I'll be very rich now. But that also will probably mean that I live another life, right? So you just assume that I just kind of get into my, future body, right? I will have another life. Maybe I will get married earlier or something, or I will live in other countries. I'm a wealthy millionaire. I'm super rich or whatever. You know what I mean? In that kind of way, right? So you would assume that I would have another trajectory action. I can't pronounce the word now. Traktoritering. Traction. Or whatever. You know what the word I mean? I can spell it. Like traction. My trajectory would be different, right? That's obvious because I would be way richer, right? Because I have I suddenly have a billion. Suddenly I'm super rich. Okay, for example. But not only that, my life would have been different, right? So maybe instead of working at company X, I would have worked at company Y instead. And I would have this experience working there. Maybe instead of developing this. Scripting skills, I would do more typical coding or this thing, or I, like, for example, I worked in a while at writing AI, talked about it in the video earlier. What if I didn't do that? So I would be a lesser, good at how to script and code AI behavior. I would be good at something as I said, right? So those kind of skills, not only memories, but really skills, right? Let's say that, just an example. Let's say that I changed my past, right? But otherwise I'm the same person, so on. But just doing that would also probably mean that, for example, my AI coding skills might be completely lost then, right? Because in this thing, even if I had the same education, so I have some basic skills doing that, but then I never went into doing that actually from working that. I never did it as an actual, paid for doing it. I just did it at school, in this other version, I never did it ever. Let's say that, right? But instead, I work more with graphical art, so I can draw better, right? So I mean, that's kind of thing is weird here, because it's like, if he time travels back and forth, he's changing his past, so he should acquire other skills, right? And other memories and so on. So that's really weird, and if it's just it's weird in many ways, because when he's in the future, he should know, like, what is the current, what the current version is, right? So now he's in like version 3 or 4, right? So, but he shouldn't have the memory of what happened in version 4, or maybe not. Or let's organize this thing. I'm not saying his memory should be replaced. That could be an argument, right? That he wouldn't even remember what happened in his old reality. That's the argument that we made, right? But let's say that because of his powers, he actually would not lose like the other Riyadh memories. Okay, so that's fine, it's still there. But he should still gain the new memories then, right? Typically then, in Marvel and so on, you will get a double memory. You will, so for example, House of M, Spider-Man, behind me here, they have this Wanda, kind of like a Wanda, which changes reality of the whole planet. In that version, then, spoilers, it's like 2004. House of M was released, 04, right? 2004. 17-year-old comics, but spoilers version here. In House of M, Spider-Man's parents, Uncle Ben, is alive. So in that version, they never died, because in House of M, everyone's a mutant. It's a kind of change, kind of how the word is. And his parents didn't die, Uncle Ben didn't get shot, so they're all fine, right? And he has like Mary Jane, and they were happy and so on. He's like a famous, he's popular, he's like an actor king, and he's Spider-Man. And when he gets awakened out from this fake reality, or this new reality, to fight kind of the evil Magneto and actually which is the bad guy, but fighting Wanda and so on, right? And well, Quicksilver as well and Pedro. To do that, they awaken him with one other girl's power. She can kind of break you out into the real reality. So when she does that, he then remembers like his actual life, right? He gets like the original, timeline story back, but he also knows the current House of M storyline. So he's like, oh, here Uncle Ben is alive, and he kind of knows what's happened in like Universe 2, right? But he also has the memory of Universe 1, and it's the same with other characters. So, but for Spider-Man, then of course he's one of the characters. It's very tragic for him because he has to go and defeat Wanda and Peter and so on, right? And by doing that, he will actually kill Uncle Ben and his parents and so on, maybe, and and generally, Aunt May and so on. Yeah, basically she dies too later on in the movie. So he has to basically kill his family, right? To save the kind of reality, right? So he's like, I don't do that. But afterwards, then when they get back and they kind of revert time and reality to the original timeline, right, or the current timeline they have in Marvel, he still remembers Luke Cage and so on. They talk about they actually remember their life and the other timeline, right? So he's like, God damn, this woman, she ruined my brain because I remember all my happy memories with Uncle Ben and my family and so on. So I have all the good memories in my head, but at the same time I know they're kind of fake-ish, right? And they kind of what I could have had, so it makes him depressed and so on. So he has like both memories. So that's kind of what I expect his power to do, right? Like he should be able to have both or even more than this kind. So it's a lot of this weird stuff in anime where I just thought like why doesn't he have the memories? But anyway, I just see the scene here. 3550. It's buffered up now. Hopefully it works now. So I'm not gonna show it, of course, if it's actually. It goes away. Then the camera goes to Draken. It ain't been dragged on this video. Yeah, Draken. Yeah. Okay, I'm not showing it. What happens is that Draken is like, hey, don't blame him, bro, right? And then the camera goes to Takamichi and the other new guy. I'm sorry I don't remember the name now, but the white hair, the Shiro hair guy, right? It goes to his them, and then we can see his shoulder, right? And he has this like a, so that's why they're kind of freeze framing Draken there for about like 10 seconds, because actually it's gonna be an animation of the second division commander, turning, right? He's gonna turn in the next animation, and then we see, of course, the money, right? And then it happens afterwards. Yeah, we see it for a long time, and he talks to Takamichi, and he's like standing here on the sill, and then it freezes into him when he's talking about the friendship show, and then so that's so and then it goes to what we saw in the the normal version, right? Then it goes back to him, right? So that's a huge So I was wondering, because I was thinking like either the anime is it's quite cheaply done because they're like he's a still frame for like 10 seconds, and then later on it was like a black screen, like it was like a still frame, black screen, still frame, and I was like, what's happening? And then like I realized, oh, I see, these are not still frames actually. They're actually just not showing the animation, right? They're just removing the animation because of that reason. So wow, what a weird way to do it, man. I mean, but that's what I said. That's why I kind of want to watch the subversion, because I wanted to see how they're gonna fix the issue, right? And okay, the fixing is mostly by just not showing any animation. They're like, I can't turn my shoulder because then you see my oh shit, yeah, like holy shit, man. They just skipped over like probably half a minute or so of animation, probably more for the whole episode. So I saw a lot of still frames. I saw a lot of still frames in this episode. That happened every now and then, right? They look kind of weird. There were again this one with the Draken was very noticeable, and then the later one there were two very very noticeable still frames that looked really weird, complete out of place. But that explains that. I was right on that, but yeah, I mean it's obvious, but still, I was thinking that. But anyway, I mean I think the episode is good, except the whole Emma part. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean I like the Draken and Mikey part, you know. So I feel it's a little sorry to him because I really like the anime in a way. You know, I really like how they're writing the characters, right? I like how they're writing the Mikey and the Mikey Draken hang out, and I really like this scene. You know, I really like this scene how they're bowing, and that's a very powerful emotional scene, right? They're so likable. I feel they're so likable, especially Draken then. How to write, you know, likable character, I guess we call it. But it's a very likable characters, and I think it's a very powerful scene. And you know, Draken, the heart, and all the stuff. Right? I think it's a really good, like, you know, yeah, powerful, emotional scene. How Draken's like, shut up, Mikey. You're just gonna accept it. They're gonna blame us. You know, it's our fault because we should never involve, you know, innocent civilians. We gotta protect, you know, people's families. Never go for someone's wifey. You know, he's kind of like, don't touch, you know, Hina-chan. She's like the, you know, this is our bro's wife. You never, you know, Emma, someone, yeah, it's always, he's like, it's always off limit, right? You don't go for someone's wife or someone's child, you know, that's how I read it. Which feels, I think, also kind of typical for the Japanese kind of system, right, of their, you know, crime. They kind of like, you don't go for the family, that's like no, right? Which I feel, honestly, I don't talk about too much here, but I feel there's an issue, honestly, kind of like where I'm from, in my home place, it's kind of like, I kind of wish, in a way, we had more organized because where I'm from, there's like so much, you know, this is happening, right? But it's all kind of wild, and that means that people actually do, you know, go for people's wives and kids and so on, right? Where I feel in Japan, usually it's very organized. That means you don't go for someone's family because it's kind of like, you know, off limits, right? You have some kind of honor among thieves, kind of, you have some kind of barrier, right? So kind of, you know, that's the positive effect of having like a very hierarchical, controlled, you know, anti-bad government, anti-rebel people kind of, you know, done on the outside, right, because of the law, because they kind of like, if they still have their own law system, right, their own way of doing stuff, but like in a proper way, so to speak. I mean, as proper as in good or evil, I mean proper as in a structural way, right? In a structural system, they might still not go for, you know, someone's wife, right, or someone's daughter. They have some kind of, you know, honor, right? If you see in other countries, it might be a little more crazy, right? So, but I think it's really good, so it's very likable. So this is the part I really like, right? But then I do dislike the part he wakes up with Emma, and it's just like, this makes no sense. And also, it's so from a time traveling standpoint, it makes no sense. Why doesn't he have the memories of his younger self, right? Why doesn't he remember how it changed? So his time powers are so weird, you know, and it just feels like a very inconsistent storytelling. He just creates so many time paradoxes generally, and at the same time, it also feels kind of weird then that his younger self is like trying to smash Emma, right? Well, isn't he in love with Hina anymore? So is the younger self not actually in love with Hina, or maybe he is, but he was like, man, you know, yeah, so she wants it, you know. Perhaps he's a young 18, 17-year-old guy, okay, fine, you know. But still, like, that to me means that if he saves Hina's life, say he says, you know, he says Hina and everything's fine, right? And the anime resolves, and then he jumps 12 years in the future. Is he gonna be married to Hina and have children? Well, most likely that's gonna be ending, right? But from this episode here, I think you could argue that no, he's gonna like break up with Hina and cheat with her. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what I mean. So if he said the younger self doesn't have the same interest as the old self, so if when he leaves his younger self, the younger self isn't gonna like commit to the marrying the Hina plan, right? He probably will. I mean, I'm not saying he should. I mean, I'm saying this is what I mean the problem, right? From a narrational aspect, of course, Hina and him are gonna be married when the anime is over, obviously, right? But you know, that's clearly where the anime is going. It's the last episode, right? Obviously. But as a story characterization standpoint, in this episode, you wouldn't think that because he tried to, you know, be with Emma, right? So why would he end up with Hina? You know what I mean? Like, this doesn't make any sense. But I'm sure it's gonna end up anyway. But you know what I mean? Like, from a narrational aspect, of course, but not from a character standpoint. So that to me is really strange too. Like, why doesn't he have the same aim or something, or a goal? That is weird. So the anime, Tokyo Revengers for me is an interesting anime because I really do enjoy this part, right? but I do hate how the time. I have to say, every episode, I like the time traveling rules less and less, right? So it's a very, it feels like a very uneven anime to me. But I really do love all the characters. I just don't like the general rules of the time traveling. But still, though, unfortunately, it's not just that simple saying that, oh, it's kind of a plot hole, but whatever. Because no, like he's just trying to, go with another woman, right? And that actually kind of breaks the character because isn't he in love with Hina? Then it blamed on the time rules, but that doesn't make for a good, compelling character. That his two different time versions of himself are so different in their goals. Maybe they are different in goals ultimately, like, but they're different at least on a detail level. They're different, and that's just like weird. Right? They're not mismatched. They mismatch too much. So I don't know what to do with that. Like, it's just weird anime. I'm thinking about it, and I don't know. I haven't seen this before, honestly, in anime. Where I feel that the more I watch it, the more I dislike the rules, right? But I like the characters so much. Thought about earlier, the first Mikey and Drakken episode 3, really loved this character. So I think they're really well written characters, but it's just like, man, the premise is kind of bad, right? So it's a weird anime where I feel like great characterization, bad premise in a weird way. Kind of like I almost wish this guy would just write, a Yankee. Honestly, I kind of wish the author would write like a Yankee, I guess, Like I wish he would write a Yankee manga, right? With cool, likable Yankee characters and don't do any time traveling. You know what I mean? That probably would be better. Honestly. That honestly probably be better. Then I would just have this cool journey of a guy that, I don't know, can see in the future or something, but he can do something else. Right? And he wants to save his friends and so on. And I don't have to think about too much of the weird time shenanigans that happens. Because the author is really good, I feel, at writing characters, right? There's one last thing though. I wonder, has the author... I'm sorry, I don't know what the author's name is. Ken Wakui? Okay, I can't pronounce the name. Yankee. Has done something before this. Just one last thing here. I wonder if... No, I'm thinking that the author, I feel the author is, again, really good at writing, characters, right? So I'm thinking like, has he written... Can I compare something else? Is it an other kind of Yankee... Other character, red light district, some muscular guy. Nothing Desert Eagle, nothing I like recognize. No the manga that I recognize. Because it didn't turn over manga, so nothing there importantly. Shinjuku Swan. Yeah, and it's kind of like, it is definitely is. It's a live action based on his manga. What he wrote, Shinjuku Swan. It's like definitely. I mean, it's very Yankee, Yaku. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's a kind of Japanese, kind of criminal. Yeah. I mean, clearly he's. So Shinjuku Swan he wrote for many years, 8 years. Okay, and then so I didn't know that. Sorry, I'm not up to date with this author then. So yeah, he wrote Shinjuku Swan, and then that also then turned into a TV drama, right? Yeah, like a live action, right? So that's quite popular and clearly. And it's also a similar, I wouldn't say it's a similar premise, but a similar character, right? It's like a blonde guy with, it's tough boys, Yankees. Yeah, it's definitely in the genre. It's sane and I mean, yeah, it's clearly in a similar, at least character appearance. The one is somewhat similar, definitely. Kind of like he has his art style, right? But I mean, it's not his art style, but I mean, thematically it's similar, right? Kind of like the sane and the bad boys and so on. More certainly as well. I think I see some live action building maybe of the characters, but I mean, I suppose they look somewhat similar. Here's like a poster of them. Yeah, it's a guy smoking and blonde hair and. I mean, they have like, I mean, they look. This could be a character in Tokyo Revengers, clearly. And this live action too, a guy with like a scar over his eye, and I mean, it's a guy with like a sorrow scar. I mean, clearly, I mean, this author he writes in this team, there are Yankees and so on, and Yakuza, clearly. But anyway. I don't know how to say, right. I mean, I really like how he writes the characters. I really like how he writes the characters, but I really dislike how he's writing the time thing. I really dislike it. I've been sitting here talking about it for a while now, but I really do. and I'm just pondering about so much because, as I said earlier, I dropped it here now, but I said earlier, you know, there's so many animes and mangas or whatever movies, right? I can recognize it that this thing I don't like. And I've seen it before in my life, you know, and that's kind of like, you know, I've been there, done that, right? But it's actually, I wouldn't say it's a new experience, but I feel it's been a while since I watched an anime where I feel that I really like all the characters, but I really dislike the rules of the anime. I mean, that's been a long time since I watched an anime where I felt that I really, really despise how this time system works. So far, at least, unless it's gonna be explained better. But I just don't think it makes sense. So it's a problem for me. Yeah, like it's just man, it's really. But then I really love the characters, right? And like the art and so on. So it's like yeah, so it's like an annoying feeling where I'm like, I really like this anime, but also I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like I love it, and also I don't love it at all, you know. And it's also like not even close to it. I feel like again here, you know, like I'm 10 out of 10. You know, this is like 10 out of 10, you know. I really love this part, right? This is like 11, 10 out of 10, right? But the only part with the timer, I really hate that, honestly, right? So I feel it's like, I don't know what to do here. It's like a 5 out of 10. It's like 0 out of 10, 10 out of 10, yeah. It just feels like a massive diversion in from quality. But I'm like, one part I really love, another part I really hate with this anime. So I'm just like, well, this is interesting. I mean, obviously I've been in this mission before, but I think usually it's the opposite, where I feel that someone is. I feel honestly that it's usually the other way around, where someone has written like a really good premise, they have a great idea, right, and the anime starts out really well, but then the characters are so dislikable or the actions are so bad or whatever. Like they have, I think that's much more common. Like the author managed to make a really cool, you know, world, right, like a world building or whatever. But then the characters' actions are so stupid or whatever. It's just, yeah, they're also dislikable in the anime, or like no character is like, you know, whatever. Yeah, you can't root for any character. I think that's much more common. How they manage to like fail and actually making the characters be good. Here's like the opposite of it. The characters are awesome, but then yeah, you know, the time traveling is stupid as hell, right? So I was like, well, long review, guys. Hope you like it. Subscribe, and see you guys at One Piece tonight.